Hi, I'm Pam from AccuQuilt. Do you remember when you were a kid and you learned to paint by numbers? One was red, two was blue, and so forth. Do you remember how easy and fun it was to make beautiful pictures using that paint by numbers system? Well, AccuQuilt has developed a brilliant sew by number system. Let me introduce you to the new Go Qube. Cubes are available to make a 6-inch, 8-inch, 9-inch, and 12-inch block system with our mix and match patterns. Inside are all of the dies that you need to make those blocks. Inside each cube, you'll find a training DVD and a cutting mat. You'll also find in this 12-inch cube 8 cutting dies. Now you'll notice that 5 of the cutting dies are 10-inch blocks. So you want to make sure if you're going to make the 12-inch blocks from the 12-inch cube that you only use the Go fabric cutter or the Go Big fabric cutter. So in addition to these 5 big dies, you're also going to come with 3 small 6-inch dies and a cutting mat. Now each die is numbered 1 through 8. Each die comes with its own pattern. So on the front of each one, in addition to the 72 mix and match set, you can make 8 more blocks. Then each die has its own handy dandy little storage pocket so you can tuck this away and keep it nice and clean. Now, in case we haven't given you enough blocks to make using our Go Qube, Eleanor Burns, queen of all quilting, has come up with a new book called the Go Sampler. Inside are additional patterns that you can use with your Go Qube system to make an infinite number of patterns. Today we're going to make the Diamond Star quilt, which is located here behind me. Isn't it beautiful? We'd like to thank Robert Kaufman for his donation of fabric to make this beautiful quilt. So I'm going to gather everything I need in order to cut the blocks and be able to make the Diamond Star quilt. So I've gathered together the materials I need to make one of these blocks here in our Diamond Star quilt. So first I have my Go fabric cutter. You can use your Go Baby machine or your Go Big machine. Today I'm going to use the Go, and of course my sewing machine. Now I find that before I begin any sewing project, once I've cut all the pieces, I like to lay them out into the configuration so you can see how the pieces look together before you start sewing the block together. Now you'll notice that I'm missing a couple of half square triangles here. I'm going to show you how easy it is to use the cube die to cut those half square triangles. So I have my little die right here, and I just need some white fabric. I found some scrap fabric since I only need 2. Now the most important thing to know about using a die in our Go machine is that the lengthwise grain needs to travel back and forth through the machine. If the lengthwise grain travels through, then you get those perfect cuts every time. Since this is a scrap fabric, I'm not really sure which way the lengthwise grain is, so here's an easy way to find out. Hear that noise? It's kind of a wonky noise. There's lots of give in the fabric. That's not the lengthwise grain. Listen. Hear that tight? There's hardly any give. That's the lengthwise grain going through the fabric like this, going through the machine. So I'm just going to cover my shape here. Take my cutting mat, press it up to the machine, and turn the handle. Then you want to make sure you slide that mat right off. If you pull the mat up, all the pieces fly. Take away that little piece of scrap fabric. There wasn't hardly any left. And now I've cut perfect half square triangles. You'll know something interesting about these half square triangles. They don't have any dog ears. We've cut the dog ears off, so now that you know this particular shape, right here is the 1/4 inch seam. How clever is that? So I'm going to put them right here, and ta-da, my block is complete. Now let me show you how easy it is to sew these pieces together. So first I'm going to start here with this portion, the flying geese portion of the die. I'm going to line up my half square triangles. Now I always like to pin them. That way that keeps the fabric tight. There's nothing worse than half square triangles that don't work together. Come right here to my sewing machine. Sew my 1/4 inch seam. take out that pin. Look how easy that came together and how crisp those points are going to be. So let me show you what I've already done. So I've already made the top row and sewed it together, the center row, and this bottom row. Look how perfect and clean and crisp my points are in that flying geese. That's because I've used the Go fabric cutter and our dies. I've made sure the lengthwise grain travels back and forth to make sure that that's tight and looks pretty. All right, so I'm going to sew it together. Let me show you how easy it is. Take that top row, put it here on my second row. I'm going to line up my seams together. Again, you want to make sure you always pin. Come right here and sew my 1/4 inch seam. All right, let's take those pins out. Look how perfect those corners came together. Now I'm going to take the bottom row and do the exact same thing. I want to line up my seams. Make sure I pin it. My grandmother was a pinner, my mother was a pinner, that's why I'm a pinner. Let's take it here and sew that perfect 1/4 inch seam. Take out my pins. Boy, look how great that block looks. Now I'm going to take real quick my little ironing pad here. I want to press those seams out so you can see how great it looks. Right here. I'm also big on ironing. And ta-da! Look at the Diamond Star block. It's as easy as that. And remember, we've used the 9-inch cube dies to make this beautiful quilt behind me. I'm Pam from AccuQuilt. Remember, better cuts make better quilts.